Double kill. Running riot. Triple kill.
Hi guys, and welcome back to another Show on the Buffalo PTCGO video. Hope you've all been well. And today we are covering the Readers and Weep ingbell deck that introduces the new Weep Bell and introduces the new Salazzle, both from the newest set battle styles. Now, Salazzle does have the attack derisive roasting, where the attack does 90 damage for each special condition affecting your opponent's active Pokemon, and there are multiple ways of getting special conditions on your opponent, but the newest one from Battle Styles is Weep Bell, that when you evolve it onto one of your Pokemon, you leave your opponent's active Pokemon burned and poisoned, which immediately puts them in 2 status conditions and is an immediate 30 damage just from them. So 2 special conditions and the 30 damage accompanying them, plus the derisive roasting, is 180 plus 30, which is 210. But why stop there? We also have the Yellhorn trainer that does allow us to confuse our opponent's active Pokemon and our own, but obviously we can get our confusion ourselves with scoop up nets and switches. So we confuse the opponent's active Pokemon, evolve Weeping Bell, and then they're in 3 status conditions, which is 270 damage plus the 10 plus the 30 from this, which equals 300 damage. So this may not be the hardest, this may not be the best one prize card attacker deck due to the fact that there's so many moving parts. However, it is certainly the strongest and the hardest hitting single prize deck that has ever been released. Following that, we also have some additional support Pokemon just to back up the draw supporters, and some other tech cards as well. So we have dual Amazing Rare Dirachis in the deck, a single copy of the Mewtwo with Mind Report to get back some supporters for the following turn, especially if we're expecting to be Marnied. It also works in conjunction with the Jirachi and is a potential Pokemon to reuse using Scoop Up Net. For the same reason, we do also play the Zigzagoon just to ping some additional damage onto our opponent's active, so we can reach the number of ADP with a big charm on it. So getting the ping damage off with a Zigzagoon, and then obviously the next turn evolving a Weeping Bell into their ADP and using Yellhorn with the attack means that we do hit for 310, which is a clean knockout on an ADP, which is insane. The one thing that single prize card decks have always been afraid of is ADP, and this deck makes it so easy to absolutely annihilate ADP, or this deck makes it so easy to annihilate ADP. For consistency, we play a 4 of Quick Ball and Level Ball. Level Ball does practically grab everything in the deck, other than Crobat V, obviously, and also it does not grab Mewtwo. So bear that in mind, but I don't suppose you'll ever be using it for that. And that's what the 4 Quick Balls are there for, I would suppose, as well as setting up, of course. And then draw supporters. Now, this card is absolutely disgusting in this deck. Shuffle your hands into your deck and then draw 4 cards, but if any of your Pokemon were knocked out during your opponent's last turn, draw 7 instead. Now, considering how weak your Pokemon are in this deck, you are likely that your Pokemon are going to get knocked out every turn, and therefore Bruno is an insanely strong supporter due to that. So although it's single strike and this is not a single strike based deck, the card is crackers, and honestly, if it wasn't for the fact that there are so many control decks running about, then I would just play a straight 4 line of Bruno, but as it happens, I've reduced it to 3, putting some Marnies and researches as well, and then just some other additional tech cards. So basically, Scoop Up Net and Switch Engine, your Ordinary Rod to recover your attackers and your Weeping Bells, and then U-turn boards to escape, to retreat the active, and it also helps you get out the confusion as well, which is very good. So that's all for the deck, and let's go and see it in action. So here we go for our first ever match with the Salazzle and Weeping Bell deck. And my opponent chose me to go first. It's not very friendly of them. And we see a Corviknight in the active that does have a 1 retreat cost. So I don't know if they're going to be using any switching cards. We are just going to get these guys out now whilst we can. We need to find a better supporter, so we are just going to discard the boss. We do also have Mewtwo and Scoop Up Nets to get the boss back, of course. And there's no point playing the Yell Horn yet. And we'll Dreamy Revelation. Get the... I'll leave the Marnie on top of my deck, actually. And pass. Now, if my opponent plays the Cobalion with Metal Symbol, that will be effectively an auto loss. There isn't really much we could do about that. And we see a clutch from my opponent, so that's good. It should mean that we've basically got this wrapped up, and if we can find a quick ball, it'll be even more wrapped up, because we will be able to find Crowbats, or even a Scoop Up Net actually. A Scoop Up Net or Switch here would be brilliant. The U-turn board is just as good. And we take our... we can't retreat. Oh well, he scooped it up anyway. I think he forgot that I couldn't retreat. So that is game 1, and we will be back in a second for game 2. So game 2 with our Salazzle and Weepinbell deck. And we're against a fellow UK player. And we do have quite the busted hand, if ever I did see one. And we see a Cricketune in the active, so I think I'm just going to I'll get rid of the triple, why not, and get another Bellsprout and drop this lander down and pass. So as you can see, the level balls add in a real hype level of consistency to this to these decks now. Cricketune is quite the exciting see what I did there? Quite the exciting Pokemon out of Battle Styles, which, if you can read on screen, says once during your turn you can draw cards until you have 3 cards in your hand. If this Pokemon is in your active spot, you may draw a card until you have 4 in your hand. So it's sort of semi-bicycle related effects. It's Pokemon's attempt to replace Oricorio, I would say. Certainly working for him in this instance. And our opponent's board is absolutely full of things that he found no way to retreat, so that is absolutely perfect. We will Weepinbell, and we're not going to bother Marnian. It's a sneeze, excuse me. Excuse me. And we will use our triple and evolve this one. I think they've all got, yeah, 1 retreat anyway, so we can just stick that there. For a total of 360 damage, which is insane. sooner we find a weeping bell here, the better. Probably has a boss in hand. Boss. We find a scoop up net? No, we do not. We do find our triple, and we also get to save all our supporters and energy because of Bruno, which is indeed very, very good. And we will evolve this one. Skip up net this, put it down, and also stack ourselves a Bruno for next turn. Just in case of any Marnies or anything, which I don't expect to see, but I've heard of less complicated things happening. So we see a double blaze from my opponent. We haven't seen a single one of our yell horns yet, which is really annoying. So we'll put this here, we'll switch into it. We'll play this here, we'll play this here, we'll evolve the weeping bell. And we just want to go as aggressive as possible, no point in putting an extra card back in the deck. And of course, we don't find it, sorry. I was going to say, and of course we find it, but that is not the case. So, we can dig a little deeper, and it's all about what do I want to do. I think the best thing to do would be to get rid of this research. We could potentially, well, I was going to say potentially Crobat, but apparently it is prized. So, things and stuff. I suppose we can get another Jirachi. We'll see if we can find Scoop Up Net here, because we do have Switch in hand already. And we just find the level ball. So, we need to find out if we've got any Salazzle. Yeah, we do have a Salazzle left in deck. Go here. Yell horn. And that is a massive 300 damage. Which is crackers. And that is how good this deck is. Well, how strong this deck is. So, we'll be back for the next game. So, as you'll have seen in the previous games, this deck is kind of a one-trick pony, and what with so many moving parts in the deck, it makes it somewhat unreliable and inconsistent. We will go first. And thank God that hand was a mulligan, because a research with all that energy in hand would not have been good. So, we have this Landit, and we have both the evolutions in hand, so we're just going to grab another Landit and a Bellsprout, because we know my opponent probably, as I'm going first, are not going to be able to power up an attack and boss's orders in a thing in the same turn. So, and we're against Maractus, so this is where the deck doesn't shine, because we are now against a one prize card attacker that is not very good for us, obviously. However, my opponent's one prize attacker is weak to fire, so our damage on our stats board will be going through the roof right now as we slay these poor little Maractuses. But this is the most, this is the other intriguing deck that came out of Battle Styles, is the Cherim. So we'll see a Cherubi grab here. Yeah, the Cherim can accelerate Grass Energy to non-rule box Pokemon. So rule box Pokemon are things like this, where they have a rule box here at the bottom that designates how many prize cards they're worth and the such. Thankfully, these cards cannot evolve turn 1. However, we don't know if my opponent is going to be playing a random Wally, because that would have been terrible, obviously. That doesn't appear to be the case, so all's well that ends well, thankfully. And we do just have everything in hands to... hopefully we'll be able to take knockout after turn, and because we play 8 energy, we should never really have to worry as such. So we do need another Bellsprout. Probably, as it happens, another 2, but we will find out. So massive damage, another energy. And see how many heads might he hit. If he hits only 1 heads, he's going to be in for a world of trouble. Because the 1 heads will prevent him from even knocking out my Salazzle. I would, however, assume that he has a draw supporter in hand. So he hits exactly what he needs, which is fine. And he takes a prize, but we do know that my opponent's hand is dead, which is good for us to know. So we top deck a Bruno, which is insane. We can get our Salazzle, which it seems like we've prized one. We've prized a Salandit and Salazzle line, it would seem. So we'll go here, here, and Bruno. We could have even potentially bossed in that Cherry this turn, but he's got another Cherubi down anyway, so there would literally be no point in that. And we do need another Salandit for the following turn. Probably should have used Cherubi Revelation there first, actually. But we do just find the Bellsprout, which is good enough. So yeah, it's just going to be knockout after knockout, and obviously at some point I will have to find my Ordinary Rod. And my opponent needs to be able to keep up with me, which I'm sure he will. This deck as well, for anyone that wants to build it, this was just a quick build. If you want to go more meta-focused, I would play at least a single copy of Chaotic Swell, because not only does it get rid of annoying things like this, but it also prevents the card that is worse for this deck. And that card, ladies and gentlemen, is Wondrous Labyrinth, because Wondrous Labyrinth means that you can only use your triple acceleration engines to attack with, because Wondrous Labyrinth says that your attacks cost 1 colourless extra if you're not a fairy type. So obviously that's awful. Opponent with the 3 heads on the Rectus, matching my pace. Clearly. And we now very much need Ordinary Rod. So we do find Ordinary Rod, which is good. Let's put back each of these. Probably should have just put back the Salazzles first, and then try to Dream of Revelation into one. But what's life without a little risk? So we can go here, poison and confuse the active. Quick ball, away this, nothing. And we have yet to find the Salazzle, which is awful. And we actually whiff, so that's not good. And I'm assuming my opponent's going to play another Maractus down. And we also miss the scoop up net, which we play 3 of, and all 3 are still on the deck. So this is very annoying. We were never going to target down the Challenges anyway. But my opponent could potentially get some more energy onto his Maractus and then boss in my Crobat, which would put us in an extremely bad position. And see what my opponent wants to do here. I do have grass resistance. I'm assuming he will just knock out the Jirachi, unless he does have the boss in hand. If he has the boss, I personally here would play it. That being said, if he got punished with 0 tails, 0 heads even, due to PTC Geoluck, then that would put my opponent in a very, very bad situation. So we do just see a powerful Needles, and he does get the 2 heads that he needs. And there's the knockout, and we will take back our escape board. So as I mentioned, we do have the Yell Horns. That's enough researchers in hand, I suppose. So we can Yell Horn, and we do have all manner of scoop up nets and stuff in the deck, and we do have one right here. So we'll put our baby Bellsprout back down and try to Broston. So now we need to find an attacker, an energy, and a boss's orders. We do have our own boss orders in hand, and we do also have Yell Horn to take a knockout on the active if we need to. This hits for 70, so it does not knock out Salazzle, thankfully. But this does. And that's his 4th one. That's his 4th Maractus, 2 energy retrievals down as well. And a Marnie, that's a very annoying Marnie indeed. But we do have another Marnie in the deck and another Bruno. So, this is not good. This is very not good now. Can my opponent get only 1 head and 3 tails? No. So, we need to skip up this, go into this, which has an escape rope on it. We can evolve the Sweeping Bell. And simply retreat into another Weeping Bell. Seems like we have a switch in hand. So this is where I was talking about that this is the strongest single prize card attacker deck, but it is certainly not the best single prize card attacker deck. Opponent obviously going for a boss on some acrobats. And he certainly gets the knockout of a whopping 300 damage, which is the same damage output instantly that this deck can put out. So I'll be right back again with the deck list. So, consistency is no Leon and no Koga's Trap. However, consistently finding your Weeping Bells with only 4 level balls means that maybe some other things need taken out of this deck, and as of yet, I can't quite grasp what they are. Possibly the Mewtwo, and possibly even the Zigzagoon. That's all I can really offer on that. That's the only thing I would say. I would also say possibly change the Scoop Up Net to a 4-2 line of the switches. I don't even think switch would be necessary at all, actually, come to think of it. Because that's what we have the Scoop Up Net and the U-turn boards for. And if we go back into here, we will also take out the Mewtwo and the Zigzagoon, as they were wholly unnecessary, and perhaps put in another of the Amazing Rare Jirachis and another of the U-turn board. That seems a lot more effective for a start off, because it allows us to reach into our deck further. Playing a 4th Bellsprout would actually be a lot more consistent, and additionally to that, playing a single copy of either Evolution Incense or, as I was saying to you before, the meta has Sense Scorching, which do tend to play Wondrous Labyrinth, and this card does stop that, so that would be the card that I put in. It also slows down fire as well, so they don't overrun you too quickly. So that is the complete deck now. I don't know why that's like that, but we'll get around to that. And that's all for the video. So thank you all for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. Hope you give this deck a try. It's really good fun for a single prize card attacker. I've got to point that out, that this is a single prize card attacker and it can hit 300 damage, which is insane. And then they're still confused as well, so then they could possibly even hit themselves, and at that point they're forced to retreat, and you're 2-shotting 3 prize card Pokemon with a 1 prize card Pokemon. It's just madness. So I hope you all enjoyed watching. Please drop a like down below if you did enjoy the video. Please, pretty please, with sugar on top, subscribe to the channel. That'd be absolutely brilliant. We're at 144 or 145 at the moment, trying to reach my next milestone of 200. So if you could do that for me, that would be excellent. And also, don't forget to press the notification bell so that you keep getting notifications for upcoming content of mine, which I'll be doing a lot more content now that Battle Styles and effectively an actual exciting set has been released. Have a good day, guys. I've been Sean the Pufflin, and peace.